Greetings to ye, the faithful friends of Tally the Votes. We are gathered here in the sacred circle of trust to analyze, deliberate, and debate this week of the Traitors Season 3. My name is Jamie. I am your host for the evening for the Murders in the Mentions, along with the Lady and the Laird of Tally Tower. We've got David and Christy. Hello to you both.
Hey.
Good to see you guys again. It's been a hot minute. Now, as any responsible traitor knows, you can only be found guilty on the grounds of law. And so, to help us uncover them, we have brought our very own groundskeeper. Alan may have Fergus, but we have someone even more cunning, even more cuddly. A heartfelt welcome to our very good friend, Brian. Welcome to our home, Brian.
Hey, I'm really excited to join you all, and I'd like to be referred to from this point forward as the legal Fergus.
I like it.
That's really good.
Legal Fergus. Yes.
Yeah, I was like, our triumvirate has become a quadrumvirate.
Wow, that's a great math word.
Hmm.
I'm gonna write that one down. All right, guys, we've got
It
a lot
has
to
rum
cover.
in it, if anyone's like.
Lots of rum. We have got a lot to cover. There's a lot of guests to mention this season. For whatever reason, whoever had that great idea. But I think we can just start with whom we're really familiar with. Brian, you, unlike ourselves, you are a Traitors purist, so you have no real prior knowledge or opinion of the cast members, correct?
I do not watch any reality TV, never have till this show. So I don't know any of these people. I'm basing it on what I see.
Okay, so then I have to ask, what about Traitors was that show to break your reality TV?
Embargo.
Yeah, embargo. Thank you.
Inexperience. I started watching it because it looked fun, and what interested me most was the dynamic of a group and how they make decisions. And this is more along the lines of just that, and not contests or the stuff I hear people talk about in other shows. And because a lot of the action takes place indoors, you really just see people get into groups and talk. And it's always been interesting to me how people make decisions, and often the wrong ways they make decisions. And so I found it fascinating. I started watching it with my son, and he got enthralled, and we sort of watched it together. So that's sort of what got me hooked, and I found it very entertaining. So this is the only one I've watched. I don't know any of these people, so you all will have lots of opinions. I won't.
I mean, that's crazy. I find it's hard to believe after so many years of reality TV and it taking over the airwaves and nearly every single platform. Well
We
done.
watch like all of it, so
We watched too many, that's for sure. But I don't think any of us watched The Real Housewives. So
No, that much is true.
Brian, you watch the international version of Traitors as well, right? Just the English, or more than that?
No, I've watched them all. I went down the rabbit hole. I watched Australia. I don't remember if there was a separate one for New Zealand. There may have been, but
yes.
Whatever was there on Peacock, I got my money's worth out of Peacock that month anyway.
And am I correct that only the U.S. uses reality show celebrities, and that everyone else is just using regular Joe six-pack
Joe
guys?
Blows?
Well, there might be a couple of people that someone might know in those other shows, but it's not, it's not like the American version. And some seasons that works better than others. But my favorite season I've watched was, if you will, a Jimmy's and Joe's season where, there weren't Jimmy's and Joe's versus assholes and hoes.
I love it.
Is what, I'll call that dichotomy. That's
a great theme. It should have been the theme for the season.
The Jimmy's and Joe's one of the seasons, I don't remember if it was Australia or New Zealand, was really compelling because you had fresh eyes, and I like having fresh eyes and not having bias coming to it.
I love watching Australian reality TV. They're nice to each other, but they drop the C word like it's nothing. Which I was told I can't use.
They're just more loose about it. They're just like, they don't have hangups like we do.
Yeah, it doesn't refer to just one thing there, It's just not it's not how it works. So, okay. There's definitely
welcome, Brian.
Yes. thank you for being here, and I'm glad that you joined our group for this season. I think you're going to bring something to the table really important, including a perspective of not knowing these people beforehand. We are very much already expecting certain things from certain people, and in fact, we'll get around to it. But there's a few players that it's like they are literally doing the exact same things they always do.
Yes.
And
So-
but even if they're not, even if they don't, other people are
They're
going to
be
think they
accused
are.
of it.
So
Exactly.
Mm.
So, okay, Christy.
Yeah.
Whose arrival surprised you the most?
Wes.
Yeah, from the
Wes.
challenge.
Yeah, I didn't. For some reason, I think maybe I had heard an inkling or something, and then I had forgotten. And I went, "Oh, that's right," because we don't usually get challenge folks coming in, but and he's kind of a very special level of challenge folk.
Yes.
I mean, he really, really likes himself. Okay, so that surprised me.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a handful of like really, really great gamers, and then a ton of just great TV personalities.
Oh, I guess we had Trishelle and Bananas, right?
Yes.
Never
Yeah.
mind. So
Yeah,
forget
we
that.
did. We did.
Here's
Yep.
Wes. They're
But
not as hated.
Wes has got this canny ability to be like a really major jerk, but like also kind of endearing. Like,
Okay, but that's the thing. I think he's 100% a jerk,
yeah.
but he was gifted with some like amount of charm that like lets him get away with all of the jerkery. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I would
Mhm.
I would have to say I don't know that they're going to touch a whole lot on why there's the issue. But for those of you who don't watch Big Brother or any of its spin-offs, Danielle and Brittany have some beef because they have been friends for years. Danielle was one of the original seasons of Big Brother and has been known all of these years as one of the best players to never win. However, her and Brittany became friends for years and years, and then they did the Big Brother's reindeer games. Is that what it was?
Yes.
And yeah, Brittany cut her. So there's some bad blood.
Danielle, it's a game. Like,
yeah, and I've got to tell you, Brittany she's not getting enough airtime already. Like I already feel like she's not getting enough airtime.
Well, is she not getting airtime, or is she not doing anything?
She just might not be doing it. But
I think she's playing the lay in the background game right now.
Well, that's kind of Brittany's game, but where Brittany really shines isn't as a gamer, it is as a personality. Her confessionals are always some of the funniest things you'll ever see. So
see, you all are saying this, and I'm going to bounce off just a couple of thoughts you've said.
Yes, please do.
Okay, like whatever you all know about Wes, I'm liking him so far.
Okay. He's very charming.
What they've shown of him, I found to be very appealing. He's stepped in, but not made himself a target.
Right.
Of the three, hanging in the tree, I like him the best of those three so far.
That's the right answer. I think that's the right answer.
I mean,
I dislike Boston Rob.
Really?
Yeah.
You can go either way would be the right answer with Rob.
And I can't stand Derek. There's something about Derek I just don't like at all. So yeah.
Oh, see, that's funny because I was so excited when he showed up because I somehow didn't hear that he was going to be on the show.
No, he was a secret. He was a secret for all of us. Like there was the 3 blocks that just have the logo or whatever, but
and this show does play directly into Derek's skill set, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, how quickly he caught on Boston Rob's bullcrap. I mean, we'll get there, but
Derek he's a cop. He was a detective, right?
Detective, yeah.
Specifically.
And one
maybe that's why I don't like him.
Skills.
It might be.
Well, I mean, it might be.
Well, and he is a detective, but also he's made a career from his reality TV show appearances. So there's been something to that. He did win Big Brother, and he's very much a bros team. In fact, I think all 3 of them that were hanging in those cages are bro team guys.
Well, except Rob likes to,
you know what? Rob is an equal opportunity manipulator.
Use the women as useful idiots. That's how I describe Rob's game. Is he like somehow convinces them to do his bidding and then cuts them, and
Okay.
they're happy about it.
Rob
Yeah.
is that guy who he likes the people he can mentor. So I don't know if
Yes, there you go.
any of you watched the Deal or No Deal Island. That
I didn't.
last
Parv is
season
on
he
that
was
too, right? This year?
Parvati was she's on this season. Last season Boston Rob was on, and there was a kid on there who lovable as heck, very very big speech impediment, stuttered a lot, and Boston Rob on day one pulled him in and was like, you and me, we're gonna be a team, I got you, and like just mentored him the whole game. Yeah, I mean he doesn't always pick the bros.
No, he doesn't. And it's funny because he met his wife on Survivor, and they
I
have
was going
like
to say he married his first ally.
yes,
Yeah, and they have
they
like
have
four daughters, four Survivor
four
babies.
daughters that all look exactly like her.
And they're
Yeah.
all getting to be like 16, 17, 18 now, aren't
Yes, but Rob
This is
has
why Rob
been.
has to keep working. He's
But
got
I
to make the
can't think of
money.
anything Rob hasn't been on because he even did Amazing Race.
Can I ask, has Rob always worn a backwards baseball
Yes.
hat like he's 17?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's his thing. It's
I
definitely
mean, if
his
it's
thing.
like your OG
It's
moves
usually a
from the
Boston
get,
like Red Sox hat, you know.
yeah,
but-
they
Oh,
probably had logo
yeah,
and shit.
I figured. I figured he was one of those guys.
Yeah, he's definitely full Boston, that Rob.
And
Um,
he's another one who
when
can
did
look
he
right
stop
at
wearing
you and
the Red
smile.
Sox cap?
What's that?
Huh?
When did he stop wearing the Red Sox cap? Because that was like his trademark.
I don't know. Maybe
I
after the
wonder if
curse
it has
was
to
broken.
do with like trademarking, and he's
I
doing all these
wonder if
things,
like
and they're
Boston
not giving
told-
him any kickback
Yeah.
or whatever, or maybe they told him to stop. Who knows?
And we don't want to be associated with your manipulative tactics, Rob. Sorry.
He's beloved. I think that it would be smart if they would do that, but whatever.
But
But
whatever.
he's charming, and he'll smile at you, and he gets that little twinkle in his eye, and you just know he's up to something. So
Yeah.
I
Yep.
always like watching him.
Yeah.
He's not he's not stupid.
No, he is actually a really entertaining gamer. Because he does move the pieces around. He talks about what he's doing ahead of time. I've never seen him do something that didn't at least appear to be calculated. So he's smart in how he lays things out. Especially when we look at our Traitors and who was chosen for the Traitors, when he gets up there, it's like one of the first things he said, like, these guys are never going to work together. Like, this is going to be a mess.
Mhm.
Which, I'm still debating if that's going to be really good for his game or really bad for his game, because his game is usually to manipulate those that have power. So,
But he does it without being bossy and pushy.
yeah. Yep.
Right?
Yeah, but he's not going to manipulate Bob the drag queen. I got news for you. Bob the drag queen's going to do what he wants. He's not
or
going to follow
Carolyn. Right.
Absolutely.
Or Carolyn
Yes.
Weigel, for that matter.
I feel like, honestly, I feel like Carolyn might listen to him more just based on their whatever, they're both Survivor
There's
contestants, right?
Survivor. Yeah.
So she might already have some trust in, or have maybe met. Those people all see each other at things, but maybe not the old school players anymore. But Bob's going to get himself into trouble with everyone else because he's doing the thing he should not be doing. You cannot drop the bottom and then run away and act like you didn't do it. People remember. Don't do that. Don't do it
Especially
again,
when they're
Bob.
looking for any reason or any hitch in anyone's
was
giddy up. So
And you're only going to be
too
able to yell
obvious.
that down so many times.
You're right.
He basically intimidated the guy by just acting indignant, but you're not going to be able to get away with that for long.
He needs
Now-
to super lay low and just lean back. But
I don't think he has lay low in his
I
No.
don't think so
in
either.
his arsenal.
absolutely not. No.
And God bless him for it.
And
Yeah.
Agreed.
No, I
absolutely.
like him very much, but
Carolyn, again, this is one of those things that you know from watching her in Survivor, but she is very much in this. It's so frustrating because Carolyn is incredibly intelligent, but the way she acts really disguises how smart and cunning she is, because she's so loopy and goofy. But where Carolyn's game lacked in Survivor was that nobody ever took her seriously. Every time she opened up her mouth, she said the right thing, she had the right plan, and no one ever listened to her. She made it all the way to the end, and her number one ally still won over her. And it's debatable whether he should have won or what, but she got 0 votes at the end for a
0
win.
votes.
And she played such a huge part in them getting there. I'm nervous that she's gonna be in the same position again, where
She's in that same pocket for sure.
Well, interesting enough, and I don't know if I'm skipping ahead on you, but when the Traitors were meeting, they were perfectly happy to have their meeting and make the decision without her.
Yep.
And it was just that she found them was the only reason she was even allowed in the circle.
Well, when they're in their circle in the secret room.
Yeah.
Yes, but in pure Carolyn fashion, we did get to have like the montage of her going from room to room to room, going like, I don't know what I'm doing.
And then when people say to you, what are you doing? Don't go, I don't know, and keep doing what you're doing.
It's so funny. So ridiculous.
That's
Okay.
hard to take someone serious that says that.
It is. Speaking of ridiculous, there's a lot of twists already. Like episode 1, we're like twisty, twist, twist. I feel like there's so many twists that Julie Chen probably could have co-hosted this season of the Traitors.
She can make an ugly sweater out of all the twists.
Alan's ass
it's not
is
Jeff,
always
it's
going to
fine with
outdress
me.
you. But yeah, I don't know. There's like a lot of them. Chris,
There's been one. Well, I think there's been one major one each episode.
Yeah, there's been a lot.
So like after they pulled into the at the beginning, they pull up to the front of the manor, and so production level on this season has gone way up. I don't know if anyone watching for the first time, but it's like, whoa, some people like they got some extra money this summer because he had like an entire like team, a cult of people, followers out there behind him. That's never happened before. Fergus is over there like, oh great, I gotta clean up after all
his
these people.
Unsullied. He has his Unsullied with him this year.
The outfits are still on point, but you can definitely see that it's gone up. And
he's having fun with the outfits.
Always. And then we've also gotten so many more players and like I feel like a better caliber of players this season.
Yeah.
Right? These are people who...
You've got the more expensive gamers this year.
I think there's too many housewives, frankly. They all
there's
kind
always
of
too many
they're like
housewives.
interchangeable to me. Maybe it's because I don't know who they are.
I did not know there was a Real Housewives of Dubai. Why do we care?
Okay, I'm going to be the one that defends the housewives, at least in this regard.
Okay.
Have you noticed this group doesn't talk? Like when they go to the table and stuff, they don't volunteer. There aren't a lot of people stepping forward. And I'll give the housewives credit. It cost the one woman probably her spot. Dorinda, is that her name?
Yeah.
The first one was she spoke
and
out.
I liked her a lot. Like right off the bat, I was like, ooh, I really like her.
They will talk. And you've got to have people on a show that you know, builds on these moments that talk, and those ladies will talk, and some of the other people aren't talking. Like, for instance, somebody I'd be curious to see what happens to is Nikki, the WWE.
Yeah, like we don't know anything.
Like we don't know anything about her. Yeah, and she's not talking. Some of the others don't talk. The housewives, Robin, and the others, they're talking, and I think that's probably why they got them. You know, do I like them so far? No, but we'll see what happens. But you know, it's probably a good thing they had them.
Totally think it's a really bad idea for them to hit Dorinda that first night.
I agree.
I don't think that was the right choice.
I didn't.
She had too many eyeballs looking at her, and it's always better when there's people are looking at because they're looking at you.
Yeah, she would have been the meat shield.
Yeah.
So
far you can't criticize the Traitors' decisions too much because I don't think any of them have had a vote yet, or maybe one vote.
Bob's getting that attention for sure, and Danielle's getting that attention too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now, in the Traitors' defense, Rob called the first roundtable a S show.
And
it was like, I mean, it probably isn't a great long-term strategy, but they came out of the box and threw everybody into chaos.
Because no one had showed nobody was really showing what they thought yet. Everyone was so afraid. The only way you were going to know, it's like that first tribal council, right? Let's see where the votes go. We'll see where people's heads are, right?
I think it's really interesting when they brought in these these 3 players, and they give them safety for the first night. And they get to go into the first
the
round
cage
table.
boys.
The
Cage
Cage
boys.
Gang, the Cage Gang.
Cage gang. Sorry.
They get to sit and kind of watch what's happening. Well, it's funny because it's just utter chaos that's happening. But I mean, Brian, what do you think? Okay. I think this question's best for Brian because he doesn't have the preconceived notions of some of the people we know. So I think it's the closest place we can put him. They're brand new into the group of these people of what's going on in the game. They're watching the first round table. What do you think they're seeing and thinking based off of what was presented there?
And I'm just extrapolating. If this were me and I had a lot of experience and what I would do, I don't think they care about who people voted for. I think they cared about how they voted. That they were sussing out who are the people that didn't speak out and were followers, who are the people that had strong opinions that maybe they could push one way or another, and who were some names that got casually floated that you stick in your pocket to try to pick up breadcrumbs of evidence to point a finger at later. That's I mean, if these fellas are all great and really astute gamers and investigators, I would say that's what they're watching for. And I think that they were amused watching what they felt were sort of amateurish performances. And I know at least it seemed like Boston Rob thought, man, like there's some real sheep here for me, the wolf.
Well, yeah, and he kind of thought these traitors are going to crash and burn if I don't save them. I think that's kind of his.
It's funny because it's like you said earlier, David. He likes that mentor spot, So he's like, "This is the perfect opportunity. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to teach him how to play this game, and I'm gonna go to Tony, and I'm going to give Tony safety, and then I'm going to whack him."
Well, let me ask you all this because I don't know the answer to it. But I know there's that thing in Survivor called the Alliance, like whatever an alliance is in Survivor.
It's just a group of people working together, Brian.
So it's a clique.
And like
so
sharing information.
Yep.
But I heard,
and they create voting blocks that way too.
Right.
It's
like a voting block.
Well, that gets to my point.
Describe it.
That gets to my point. Rob sort of said he was going to try to protect Bob because Bob was another traitor. Now, is that going to be a liability for him down the road, or is he the kind of guy that's going to shift if Bob starts sinking at some point? He's going to be like, "Dude, you're on your own. No more life jackets."
As soon as he shifts, Rob will take him out himself.
Yeah, he'll expose him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because not knowing him, my thought was like, if he maintains that strategy, that's not a great strategy because we've seen traitors hang on to other traitors a little too long in the past.
Yeah.
And that would be a bad strategy.
And it seemed like it felt like Tony was collateral damage in Rob trying to protect Bob the Drag Queen.
Well, let me ask you, David.
I don't think like he sat there and said, "I'm going to get Tony this week." I just think he was in a situation he had to lay it at somebody, and he pulled one of those what I call, we've seen it on the reality shows how many times he never talked a game with me. I mean, how many times have we seen a Big Brother contestant thrown out for that?
But you know what? This is the thing. It's like it seems like such a silly, like generic reason for something, right. But where Rob recognizes is he doesn't need to have a real reason. He doesn't need to have anything interesting. He's got one or two people that are mentioning Tony. He knows at the end Tony's going to be real competition for him. This is my chance. Yeah, Tony, I'm going to say your name now. And that's all it took. That's all it took was for once Rob had said it, the heat was off of Bob and they all went for Tony because he didn't. It wasn't like with Wells where it was like 4 votes got him out. It was almost everybody.
Well, let me ask this. This is where my ignorance is coming in. Sorry, David, but I want to ask this before I forget. The thing about Tony when Rob got him and like he looked like he was crying and he was upset and somebody said like I can't believe he cried. Like he never shows emotion. Were you all surprised by his reaction leaving there?
I don't know if I was surprised, but I was kind of hurt for him because Tony played Survivor years after Rob started playing Survivor. And Rob was one of those that was mentioned as like, that's his Survivor idol. It's somebody who he looked
Mhm.
up to for years and tried to base a lot of his game off of. So it's kind of like having your hero, taking a
Well,
crap on you on your way
and
out
they
the
and they
door.
know each other outside of the game.
Yeah, I was gonna say they've obviously seen each other many
Yep.
times,
In
and
the
weren't they
circle,
back
and yep.
on a return season together ever? Ever were they?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
no, Amber was on the season 40, right? Rob
Okay.
wasn't.
So,
Maybe
I
that's
mean,
right.
they clearly know each other. I was really surprised, honestly, that Rob did that because he didn't really have to.
Well, he
He
could
could
have
have
he could have gone
still,
after anyone else.
he could have
Yeah.
just said, "Listen, I'm still trying. After last night's roundtable, I'm still trying to figure out what you guys are doing because whatever." And then he could have just, yeah, I just put it here. I don't know. He
But
didn't have to nearly by
it's
doing it.
so
He
smart.
kind of.
Hmm.
You think so? Because I feel like
Yeah.
I
he
think he
already knows
exposed
people are.
himself a little bit.
That's what I think too, because
Derek certainly
he already
sussed it
knows
out.
they're looking at Bob, and if it comes out and Bob gets voted out, if they vote Bob and it comes out he's traitor, everyone's gonna go, "Oh, Rob was defending him and threw his own friend under the bus. Maybe he's a traitor too."
No, I
Well,
totally think it didn't expose him, and I'll
All
tell you
I'm
right.
why.
with Brian. I'm with
It's
Brian
because he
on this.
gave him the shield, and that was
Hmm.
acknowledged at the
Yep.
table.
Yep.
That he gave him the
Right.
shield, and then
And then
said
never
the
talk
only
to him.
You never
and-
talk to me.
right. But that you guys were talking about that you never talk to me is all the time is
Hmm.
thrown out. This is different because he gave him the shield, and then when he said, and he never talked to me
Oh
again,
no, he made an
Tony admitted
excellent
he
reason
didn't.
why.
Yeah.
Like I
He
thought
made an excellent reason.
for me, like I don't like the dude so far. I think he's kind of shady, but
It's totally
I
changed.
thought that was a solid move. And let me say, like
All of
when he
that would
came
have
back
been.
at it, boom, he had the answer ready to go.
He's very quick like that. That would
Well,
have been
and
a
I
great thing if he hadn't been defending Bob, who's a fellow traitor. I think that's the connection somebody's going to make at some point. His
I
reason for
think that
voting for
if
Well, and
Tony,
Derek
totally valid.
said it right afterwards, Christy. Derek said this is really suspect
Hmm.
on and Derek's going to be the first one who's going to figure that out, right? But there's a couple others. Was it Wes or who was the other guy who was piecing stuff together? Who was the guy that got shouted
Dylan.
down by
Dylan
Dylan
yeah,
Efron.
Dylan
Yeah.
Efron, which
Yeah.
like I can see it, but in another way, he doesn't look
Yep.
anything like him.
it's just the eyes. That's it, right?
It's really
It's
weird.
not even the eyes. It's
The
not
eyes
even
aren't.
the
Yeah.
eyes. The
There's
eyes
just
are not right. Zach Efron has those like blue eyes that like look into your soul, and that's he
I
does.
think his little
Just
brother's eyes
doesn't have that.
aren't quite as big and luxurious.
Yeah,
You know?
he's gonna get steamrolled
It's-
on this show. I feel like.
But he
and it sucks because he's sharp, he's on top of it, but I don't think socially I don't think that he has what it takes to get around some of these huge personalities.
Yes.
unless he learned the lesson that he said after Bob shouted him down, where he said, "Oh, but yeah, man, I trust you now, bro." Then he goes, "I don't trust him at all, and I'm pulling back and laying low." Until and he said the thing.
Yeah.
This is what I like about the show. He said, "Until I have evidence." Like a lot of
Well,
people
and they even
shoot their shot without evidence.
pulled
Yep.
him aside and said, didn't they say like, let's work on your debate skills? Like because let's not let that happen to you again. Oh yeah, we got an actual Mountbatten this season.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Mhm.
Did you like that, David? Did you like them having a royal?
I'm not a big Royal fan.
I think you are.
I find him insufferable.
I mean,
Well-
you're in front of Got Castle there, so
Got Castle.
I like how it seems like sometimes on this game there's like somebody just happens to be British, and for some reason that always makes them suspect, even though they're not doing anything suspicious compared to the other people there, and
More
their name
suspicious
keeps coming up.
and smarter.
Yes.
That's immediately people think they're smart and suspicious.
I love it. There's something so great though with like Bob being like, nobody can lie like a royal. So at least we get fun sound bites out of it. If anything, this show is chock full of them. We had 3 challenges? Because they had
We
the
had
Viking ship, the
the maroon people leave them. Oh wait, I didn't do that.
yes. Oh my gosh, they
Just leave them out there. I hated that. That sucked so bad.
just
and that
leave
they
them out on the
didn't
lock
wait-
and go away.
And then they just like left. And then when they got back, they weren't like, "Hey, let's Let's make, where we got all warmed up and got to change clothes. Let's get some like blankets or something so when they come back, the towels, they can get
Yes.
all warmed.
The
And we'll
fact
wait
that
to
half
eat.
the
We'll
food
wait to
was
eat with
gone,
them.
bad
Are
manners.
you
And
kidding me? And then they ate it?
and the way let's just a real problem that could come up in the future, the way the men treated the women on that
Mhm.
was absolutely terrible. And even Bob the drag queen was back yelling at everybody.
Heave
Oh, yeah.
hoeing. Heave hoeing his ass right
That's when all the
out.
women
You
decided
know,
they loved Bob. They're like, he stuck up for us.
How great was it though when my favorite episode of the Traitors is always got to be the first episode because there's just something so fun about watching them reveal like who they are to the other traitor. I just love
And
it
who
so
doesn't
much.
know anything?
Yes, it's so great. But the two of them sitting there on that raft, just both trying to blow smoke off each other's ass.
Oh, that was so fantastic, wasn't
that's a
it?
great
I-
And then
moment.
It was so good. And then when they finally see each other in the tower and they're both like, "Damn, you're really good at
they
this."
just died laughing, and she's like, "They,
So
we
cute.
could have been sitting there plotting and talking strategy the whole time if only we'd known."
If only.
Because
If only
two
we'd known.
traders would never do that together, really, if they knew. They
No,
would
because
never both. Oh, we're get off here together. No, you never seen together.
look at how many people were immediately treated as suspect because they volunteered a position. That's all it takes. That's all it takes.
But see, this is the thing about group dynamic. But then when you don't volunteer at the fun
Mhm.
house, then you're a jerk. It's like if you volunteer, you're bad. If you don't volunteer, you're bad. It's like after a wife passes away, unfortunately, the husband's there, and no matter how the husband reacts, he's wrong. Oh, he cried too much. He was putting on a show, or
Mhm.
he didn't show enough emotion. If my wife died, I would have been destroyed. And the way both things were equally played against people, Tony for not going, and everybody else
Yep.
for volunteering. It's really interesting to see where the
So
dart
weird.
hits the dartboard.
It's one of
But I'm
the
gonna tell you,
really frustrating but also interesting things of all these reality TV shows is getting to watch these like little moments in the human dynamics where you see people that are in alliance together, they're working well together, but they know that they're going to have to cut somebody, and then just the crap that they make up to be mad about just so they feel better
Yeah.
about cutting that person.
Exactly.
And then when they're gone, they just keep reassuring each other how horrible this person was who's done nothing.
just because sometimes you have to look for those little tiny
Yep.
threads and find them, and then grab onto them and don't let go, because it is all you have. It is all you
Yeah.
have.
So-
I did like the Viking boat. Like the Viking ship looked pretty damn cool.
Looked
Though.
pretty
It
cool.
did look
It
cool.
looked fun. I mean, if everybody wasn't yelling at me, it actually looked like something like I kind of would love to just go do that for funsies. I don't know. Ride in a pirate ship.
Coming in
heave-ho.
hard.
I wonder if they reused
Is it
the
a-
set pieces from Gladiator 2 for that.
Let's
Did it look that
pretend that
authentic?
that's
Yeah, they had
true.
the Viking ships and they were,
Again, production value, right?
yeah.
Like,
But see, we
season
did
1
get
and 2 would not have had a freaking boat like that.
an awesome Brittany Haynes moment from that though, when she was describing that it looked like a stabbed octopus with all of his tentacles flying over because not two oars hit the water at the same time.
Ah, man, it was like an octopus flailing not to drown.
When they were going in circles towards the beach, that was prime teamwork there.
Oh yeah. there was a bunch of silliness and all of that,
And
but
then they didn't even go to the last platform. They're
They
like, we don't
just-
need the last one.
20,000's fine.
20 is enough. We'll just 50%.
What is the pot up to right now? 60?
20,000, I think.
I thought they got
It was 20.
No, they didn't
20
get did
They
they
got
get
nothing
anything
from
from
the
the
fun house.
but from the cage game, did they get anything?
I didn't think they got money for that.
Shields. All
Just
they could get
shields.
was shields.
That was Shields. So it's 20,000 in the pot right now.
Dang.
Oof.
That's like 2 months mortgage for some of these
Oof.
people.
Oof.
Too
But
much.
that's not that great.
No, it's
Because
not
they
good.
decided, they affirmatively decided after, leaving the other 8 that they were only going to go for half the money on the first one.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
Well, sometimes surprises
And then go home and
are
eat all the
funny.
food.
I mean, Big
The what?
Brother's what, $500,000, and it's
Mhm.
been $500,000 for 22 years.
Yeah,
So
750,000.
if you adjust for inflation, it should be like $1 million at this point.
It should.
Yeah, Survivor
one, I
is
think-
at this point.
The maximum pot
Survivor
they
was
could
always
have.
$1 million.
Was it always $1 million?
Yep.
Oh, all right.
the maximum pot on this is 250,000, right? That's the maximum pot.
I think that's as high as it'll go.
Like if they ace everything, that's what they'd have.
Something tells me Jamie will know this. How long do they film this over?
Oh, it's only like a week or week and a
Right.
half.
It's not a long time.
They don't
days.
even sleep in the manor. They like stay at a hotel.
Right.
Fergus doesn't even have to trim the yard.
Yeah, I think they actually get to film like multiple days in one day, so it's not a really long shoot.
I don't want to know that.
Which is really
it.
great
No, they
for
sleep there.
They sleep there. It's
They
really
sleep there.
great for making or for keeping the cast a secret up until they want it revealed, because like any of these people can be gone doing something for 2 weeks without it being too suspicious,
Or they could be on vacation for all anyone.
Right. But when you have something else like some of the other, like Big Brother especially, is like that's forever.
Or Australian Survivor, you're gone for
months.
Big Brother was 100 days, right, last year?
The year before that they did the 100 days.
That's why this show is the best show, because you can just go for a week. You get to go to Scotland, hello, and then you get to hang out with Alan Cumming.
That's what would sell the deal for me. Scotland, Alan Cumming, let's go.
I just love him.
That's all I need to know. Yeah, he's wonderful. He was on Colbert last night before that. I don't know, sometime this week, talking about his time doing the Traitors and like how, and he said that he acts his ass off when he films the Traitors, and how much fun it is to just be so debutante about things. And
well, he says he's playing a character. This is not him. It's his character, and his character is Dandy Scottish Laird.
Yes, Dandy.
This is Alan Cumming turned up to a nice fine Spinal Tap 11.
Yes. Yes. Matching frames with every kilt.
And you know what? What other show do we have the host that is this like entertaining?
None.
Definitely not.
Literally none.
Sorry, girl. Sorry.
Yeah. Literally
nobody.
None. Every outfit is amazing, even if you're like even the ones that have a little heart cut out right above the nipple, still amazing.
With dripping red sequins. Excuse me.
I absolutely love the drama of taking somebody's picture and being like, they're murdered, just throwing them on the ground.
Don't throw my friend on the
floor.
And
everybody getting like, so much.
Gets all mad about it.
They don't like that.
Gets so much, and then Danielle not doing great acting. Like I think that the breakfast scenes are just that's the best for the drama, because everybody turns it on.
Just be hungry.
You didn't think Danielle demanding a chocolate scone was a good cover-up?
Because that's good. Give me that.
She was good till that point, and then she got convinced she was a good actor, and guess what? She convinced herself a little too hard. She was.
Yeah.
I wonder if it wasn't her just kind of like they're a couple days in and she's like, nobody's noticing. Okay, I'm doing a great job, right? It's like, so far so good. I must be rocking this. No, girl, no, you're not. People are saying your name.
Yeah, and it's kind of frustrating because, like I said, she's a great gamer. Now, here's the thing. Sometimes it's difficult because she is a great gamer from how many years ago? 20 some years ago? And how much has these games evolved? How good have people become learning how to do this type of thing? I mean, between this and Ranger
How old
games,
is she now?
I don't know. She doesn't look like a day older than she did when she was on Big Brother, so I don't know. Yeah, she's got grandkids.
She's doing this for her
We're going to refer to all women as 39. She's 39.
All
okay,
right.
but I will say that there's some men that there's after 40 you start to slowly have your decline, and and you're not as quick as you were when you were 30.
Right.
It's facts of life, kids.
She is 52.
Some of them might still be on their game.
And that is not old.
Well, at least she's smarter than me then,
not.
since I'm 54. So I mean,
but it might be a little tough on something the stress and the secrecy and there's so many layers.
I am really interested. I'm both interested and irritated that Carolyn has mentioned Brittany's name. because you know how I feel about them. Like, these are two of my favorite people in the house. I need them to align. I do not need them going after each other.
Jamie,
But
you can verify I was the first one that said they better be best friends. They better be best friends.
yep. Now, it was interesting to me that Danielle like immediately said no because everyone's going to think I did it. So she's at least very aware of the fact that that is going to be her number one suspicious activity above all else. If Brittany goes, they're coming for me. But at some
she's
point,
telling
Brittany's going to
everybody
have to
that.
go.
She's
Exactly.
telling everybody that. So I feel like if she's telling everybody that, when it does happen, it won't, because she'll go, you see, I told you.
So I think if she would have kept that information in the tower just between her and Carolyn, it was good. It was spot on. But much like her, realizing she was doing a good job acting, she went and spread the word.
So I
Okay.
have an idea. I have an idea. If we were all in the house, who would you make an alliance with? Pick one player that you would go up to and try to make an alliance with.
I'm going to have everybody think about that for the next 8 seconds because we need to do a pause for commercial. And then when we come back from commercial, let us know who you pick. Okay. All right. Who's it? Who's the alliance? Who you got?
Not Tom Sandoval. Not that dude.
Sweaty Pits McGee.
Not
Why
him.
is that man always so sweaty? What's the deal?
I don't know.
His armpits are sweaty. His hair's always drippy. What
But
is
I don't
going
know
on?
his show. He's one of those Vanderpool people.
Do you think he's just like working out all the time and we don't see that?
Vanderpump people. And he's a cheater. That's all I know.
Yeah, because that's why he was like about the one person being friends with the ex or something, and so not him. But who do you think you would be? Who'd be your number one ally?
While we wait, I'll answer my own question.
Do it.
I would ally the person I seem to like the most so far. I don't mean a combination of gameplay and everything. I would make an alliance with Jeremy.
Okay, I'm glad you brought Jeremy up because I was going to ask that we hadn't talked about Jeremy and where were the thoughts on him. He is a very even keel human being. Like he is that, and he was in Survivor too. He knows when to turn it on and he knows when to just pull back and watch. So
he's got steel too, though. He refused to vote for Tony and said, "I just don't think he's a traitor." And guess what? Tony wasn't a traitor. Like I when everybody else followed the pack, he didn't. I right now he's my
I think and that's an excellent choice.
He's a firefighter, so he puts his life on the lines simply to save other human beings, and that is an amazing person who can do that. So
that is true. No, wasn't his wife pregnant when he was on Survivor? When he won Survivor?
Yes. Yeah. Remember him crying and like rubbing his face about like how he'd left her, wanted to go out there, and
yeah,
it was very sad.
So who would you align with, Jamie?
I don't know. Jeremy is like a really great idea. I think I if I were to walk into this group of people, my brains and my thought process would go away, and I would just immediately gravitate over to Brittany, and then I would be like, Carolyn, we have the same accent sometimes. Come here. Like I need you because I grew up like 35 miles away from her and her accent. I need her over here.
You'd be her translator,
right? Whether or not it was a great idea for a game, I wouldn't be able to help myself. Like that's who I'd immediately go for.
David,
I would probably align with Brittany on general principle.
Exactly.
Yes.
Good answer.
There it is. General principle.
I think like Jamie, we like Brittany's snark. She's funny and she's quippy. So we'd probably want to hang out with her a little bit. But if I was simply strategic, looking at who's playing, like I love Boston Rob, but that's just because I like watching him. I would not want to be his partner because I know
I'd be watching him like a hawk.
If I was playing this game as I am right now, 52-year-old, I could not pick Wes. But if I was younger, more in shape, Christy, I would pick Wes, because I'll tell you what, Wes is loyal. He would do all the confronting that I don't want to do, because that's not me. And he would, I think,
That's not
have
me.
his strengths would be my weaknesses, maybe. So he'd
Yeah.
be a good balance.
So we're
And
hearing
he's
Wes
very
completes
loyal,
you.
very loyal.
Wes
Yeah,
complete.
We're
and
hearing
he's
Wes
very loyal.
completes her. Yes, he completes her.
I mean, as far as the housewife group goes, I really do kind of dig Gabby. I think she's once if she's left without all the other housewives,
Gabby,
I
which one?
really want to see how she plays. She reminds me of Joey Lynn. What is the actress that's on Chasing Amy? She reminds me so much of her. But
Which one is Gabby? What did she say? I don't even remember.
she's
She-
had quite a few.
Oh yeah, she's the one who either had a facelift or has very very tight
She's
skin.
teeny.
One of the
She's
two.
teeny tiny. Like she's just a little nugget.
Okay,
Just a tiny little thing. Like I think her and Brittany
she's
are competing for
33.
smallest people in the
Okay,
house.
so
Gabby is
we're gonna
not a
walk
real
past
housewife.
this,
She
but we
is
should
the
probably
one
do
that was the on the Bachelorette show.
Bachelorette, yes.
Okay,
Okay.
that's
Okay.
why I was confused. Okay, is she the one that was like, they said, "How did it go for you?" She says, "Well, I'm a lesbian." That's how the
Yes.
Bachelor was. Is that what she said?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I like her. She's funny.
Didn't go well for her.
And she's kind of a smart ass, and she's kind of
No, I like
watching
her.
the right people a little, like when we've seen her
And yes,
confessionals.
she does look like Joey Adams,
Thank
or
you.
have the voice, something. Yeah,
Something's
100%.
there that's sort of like her. I just don't know
Yeah.
what that is, but
No,
that's
it's-
also a
she's got-
that's the
lesbian in the
energy.
movie anyway.
That's the energy I get.
Come on.
You know, I
Little
gotta
people
say
don't know, but that's who Kevin Smith was inspired to write that part. It was
Yeah.
Gabby. He saw her. He's like, I'm gonna
Just
have to
there it
make
is.
this movie.
I know that's
She's
why I
only
have to
10
write
years
now.
old, but
aligning with drag queen or drag queen Bob wouldn't be dumb either, because he would be a personality shield, right? He is such a big personality; he would overshadow literally everything you did. So
Yeah.
you would stay in the background just by
Yeah.
virtue of him being around.
Do you feel like I kind of get the idea that Bob is fairly loyal? I think
he
Bob
probably
is very loud and demands a lot of attention and accidentally steps into leader positions, constantly accidentally or not accidentally, but he did on the boat and he did in the cage game and he did again at the round table. He's always taking the lead.
but
His
not in
only
a bossy
mistake-
way. He
He was
Go ahead.
bossy. And he
Yeah.
even said after the one, he said, "Did you see how I had that round table on lock?" And was
the
talking
round
about
table for
how
sure
he had
bossy.
it under control. And it's like,
Yes.
I think he's another one. If he has enough success, he may take a step too far and make a target. But I agree with David. I think he's well liked and already has
Mhm.
supporters that are saying there's no way it's him. He's a
Mhm.
faithful.
That's why I think he's a good leader when they're doing the challenges, because
Mhm.
he's calling them out when they're being stupid. Like,
Yep.
you're about to make half of us super mad right now. Like, knock it off.
Yeah.
So that was good. He earned lots of points up. But yes, in the round table, he was too bossy, because
Yeah.
say
But
less.
to his credit, once he realized that Dylan was he got a little explosive when he knew his name was being mentioned. But as soon as he had that roundtable experience with Dylan and he realized, oh crap, I might have just stepped a little too much into it. He dialed it back. He got very professional. The way he went and talked to Dylan, like you could literally see in his eyes the moment he registered, I've gone too far. I'm pulling back right now. And he changed that energy with Dylan. Now that wouldn't work with everybody that's there. It worked really well with Dylan. So now maybe he has the ability to manipulate Dylan a little bit more or a little bit further.
Yeah, could you see him pulling that on Rob?
There's no way. Rob would go, okay, yeah. And then it's cut to the confessional, like,
Rob would drop him out of a third floor window.
yeah. Like, nah.
I was looking over
any
some
of
of the
it.
other players, and I forgot about one. Totally forgot until I just saw his name. That Sam Asghari.
Yes.
That's Brittany's ex, and Brittany's over there going, "What? No,
Not me.
not me. What are you talking about?"
It wasn't mine. What?
I forgot he was on there. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do an alliance with him either. Please don't make me. Okay, there you
I won't.
go. Okay,
I won't, Christine.
thank
promise.
you.
Well, I do. I do as expected. I'm not very excited with the housewife crew, though. I really did like Dorinda. I'm just so disappointed to see her go because I told David, I said something about her has got like You know Helen, the attorney on Ozark? It's like that level of energy, that
Yes.
boss lady, you know?
See, and I felt like she like her accent, like she's very New York as well, and I felt like she could go toe to toe with a Tony or go toe to toe with a Boston Rob and get in their face and get mouthy and put them in their place. And that she was gone so early, we didn't get to see any of that really.
Yeah.
And that's sort of fallen to Robin now. Robin became the one who sort of took that role of
She's
being
like, why
devil's
does
advocate.
everybody keep saying my name?
Yeah.
Well, because you have piercing eyes and you're at the end of the table. Like, sorry, you're next.
Yeah, that's a really hard thing to balance, right? Say enough, but don't say too much. And this is for faithfuls too, because they don't want to look guilty because they're not. And so you saw Tony, like it was really cutting him up that everybody thought he was. He's like,
I felt,
no, I'm being
God, I
good.
really did feel so bad for Tony. And then about 5 minutes afterwards, I stopped feeling bad because I
Yeah.
realized he's going to be on Australia versus the world. So he's good.
Oh, that's right.
He
He's
went from shooting
fine.
one thing to the next thing. He's good. He's doing what Tony does best.
Brian,
Him and Boston will make up.
Brian, you watched a lot more Traitors than we have. What's the move when you find yourself in that situation when everyone's pointing at you and you are indeed a faithful? Have you ever seen a move that has been able to get you out of it?
I think the move I've seen that's worked the most is to call out your number one ally and ask them to vouch for you and or find a moment that you'd never disclosed before and disclose it at that moment. And I don't mean a moment where you're pointing the finger at someone else, but a moment like where you helped someone else or or remember something someone said and you quote it back to them correctly and can contrast that with something the person's saying about you. I've seen that move work a couple of times. The problem is, and you saw it there with that, is you saw just so many people voted for Tony that didn't say a word, that had never ever mentioned him, and just sit back and snot. I mean, Tony made the mistake of not giving himself a good defense. Like you can't go, really you think it's me, really? Like you got to do better than that.
Yes.
Was he toast
really?
regardless of whether Rob had opened his mouth or not? Do you think?
I
kind of do. So
I think it was already going that way, don't you think?
Yeah, I do too.
I think Rob felt the sentiment was headed that way and wanted to make sure that like it was done.
Yeah, I think that there was a little wiggle room, but Rob sealed that deal like right up.
And yeah, I feel like there was going to go that way. And if you don't know who to vote for, and you really don't have any strong feelings anyway, you're going to go with the group. And this is the time where in other reality shows, it feels like railroading, right?
Yep.
Because you're just kicking someone out for whatever reason. Here, you're really trying, and you're like, maybe they know something I don't know. Like, they saw something or they had an interaction or they're trusting their gut. I don't have anything. I got to vote for somebody. Who was it that threw out the vote and said, I'm voting this because this is just a dummy vote. It's just a placeholder, but because you got to vote. Who was that?
Oh, it was.
They didn't like that either.
What didn't Jeremy do that? I thought Jeremy did it because he didn't want to vote for Tony.
Oh, maybe that's who said it.
Yeah, because the only people that didn't vote for Tony was Wes, Dylan, Bob, and Tony.
I think I could be wrong, but I think it was Jeremy, which again acquits him well in my mind. But
especially if you know the person you're put it on, it has no risk of going.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah. And Jeremy's on there too. Yeah, he voted for Tom.
So you go like, this person has no chance of going home. I'm literally just putting this over here because nobody
is. Right. As long as you can be very clear that like I have no suspicion on you, I just have to use a name.
So we sort of skipped the one elimination that I think was maybe the most confounding. What about them getting rid of Ian?
I don't understand why that murder happened, because we had two murders, one by 3 murders, one by 4 murders, and then we have a setup for the next murder. I don't understand why they picked her.
I don't think Boston wanted to.
I don't know
I
that Carolyn wanted to.
right. But you get in that situation, and Bob is very sure on who he wants to murder. Danielle is they happened the first night too. Diana, she's super, she knows who she's going to vote for.
Mhm.
And Caroline was like, okay. Like, okay. Because you have to come up with a name. Because remember, they're shooting and they're filming those sessions at night. And that's after everyone else is done off doing other things. They have to keep working, and they cannot leave there until they come to a consensus.
Mhm.
So at some point you're just going like, yeah,
Yeah,
whatever,
well, that's where
fine. I
we
think
get
it's
Carolyn
stupid.
being like, "I'm sick of this. Like, fine, let's
Yeah.
just vote them."
Again, sounds familiar, like a jury locked in a jury room until they have to make a
Sure.
But
decision
that's
or
for
they can't
these
leave.
people aren't really going to die. That's more serious.
Oh,
These guys don't do that.
people that are really suffering consequences have jurors do the same
No, I
thing.
would. That's
So
unconscionable. You
terrible.
should not do that.
It's
That's
true.
horrible, horrible, horrible. This is a game show. No one is actually dying.
Yeah.
So whatever.
It's
But in
okay.
real
It's
life,
okay.
guys, don't do that.
It is
But we do
okay.
have fabulous murder.
Hung jury is better than just not.
I
Yeah,
do.
that.
I am already getting paid in spades. One of the things that I was the most excited about knowing that Carolyn was going to be on this season was like, I could not wait for all of her facial expressions. When she is sitting at the round table, I felt like, oh crap, she might not be very good at this because she has so many facial expressions. The amount of eye rolling that
Yeah,
comes
she has
out of
googly
her.
eyes going on for
Oh
sure.
my god, I can't not eat it up because it is so
I
funny. But that's
I
why it
think we
would be
might have
so
a
hard for
common
me to be
ancestor
aligned with
sometimes.
her because I'd be like, listen, I know you're really unique and you're you and I love it and it's great, but you need to tone it down.
Isn't
But
she ADHD though?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's just symptomatic of who she is.
Well, and
Well,
okay, so Carolyn is a recovered addict. I think
yeah,
she's on 15 years sober now.
Right.
She's a drug counselor for the
but
Hennepin
like very
County prison
heavy
system.
drug user when she was though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she works with inmates that are in recovery. Like she works in a very like niche kind of community of people where she can just kind of, like really express herself or get other people to express themselves.
I liked her, and I liked that she said, like, she knows herself. She knows she's an outsider. Like
She
she
does, yes.
knows
'Cause it
she knows
happens
who
to her
she
every
is.
time. We've seen it before already. Just this
Yep.
is her second show she's been on, and both times the same things happened.
And it sucks because on one hand it works so well for her because she's so unsuspected,
hmm
But it also doesn't work well for her because no one ever listens to her really,
No one
really
gives her the
good
respect.
And she's so
ideas.
much smarter than like she appears, I guess. That's
Mhm.
not fair to say. That's not what I mean exactly, but
Yep.
then she presents herself. I think that
Right.
would be a better way to.
Yeah, she's usually got a really good read on people. Given her life experience, that's going to
No,
help
don't
you.
smoke that from that person. It's probably bad. I don't like
Like
them.
that guy's no good. But you know what? How far she gets, I don't know. She's so much fun to watch. I'm so glad she's there. Like between her and getting to see Alan in all of his amazing outfits and Bob the drag queen just delivering the lines. I don't
Well,
know.
he's been
Like,
delivering some outfits too now.
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
Okay, but I got to tell you something. I have a 10-year-old here at home,
feathers.
as you know, that is very opinionated on all things television and music and
Yes.
basically everything. And she goes, what I had to write it down because I knew if anything, David would probably appreciate this more than anybody else. But she got so irritated by Bob's blue dress. I don't know why. She just hated that dress. But literally, she says, Bob, girl in that dress, you're the traitor.
That's my fake granddaughter for you
Wow.
right there.
Wow.
From the mouth of a 10-year-old, calling it as she sees it.
That's
So,
awesome.
all right, guys. So we've covered the round
Wait,
table.
there's
We've
somebody on
covered
this
some
show that was from
murders.
a show called Summer House.
I don't know who that is. Who is that? We covered
Sierra Miller. No, but
Oh,
not
Sierra.
that Sierra.
Yeah.
Sierra. Yep. Sierra.
She's the. I was just looking to see who is the youngest. She's the youngest
And
contestant
how
at
old is she?
28.
Oh, wow.
28. And she's from
Wow.
a show called Summer House.
Yeah, no. Mm-mm.
Y'all were old.
Is it like Jersey Shore or something? I'm assuming
It's probably
something like
is.
that.
It's
Like,
probably is.
yeah.
Okay.
So, okay, the last little thing that we have
Mhm.
from our episodes this week is the last challenge that our traders were presented with. We
Oh,
touched it on a little bit. They had to make their way into the wine cellar and create a short list to be placed in a coffin. We've got Carolyn wandering
one
the
little bitty
castle,
coffin.
not being able to find her crew. She finally gets in there. They argue as per usual. Who do you think is going to get thrown? Like, who do you think that short list is?
Before we go there, what was Drag Queen Bob's obsession with putting Caroline in the coffin?
I know. I did not like that.
I mean, it
I
kept
don't.
like
I
he
don't
kept
know if he was like trying to make a target of her or trying to diffuse
But no
any
one's saying her
ideas.
name. They're saying his name.
Yeah.
But they absolutely should have put Rob in the coffin.
Yeah.
Because who wouldn't, right?
I would
But
be.
you know,
too.
Rob
No.
had good logic. Rob had good logic because he said, you know, like people have caught on. They're going to think the Traitor's probably one of those people, and
Yes.
you know that, and that is a move that's been used in the game before.
Yep.
So
Yep.
you know, I don't think a Traitor will be in there. I don't think she was
It's
agreeable, and
the
that would have split it too much.
Yeah.
it's the whole inconceivable. Am I putting the poison in my class or am I putting it in yours? You know, when I put it close to me, far away from me, we don't
That was
Right.
my
know.
favorite scene.
Exactly.
But it plays in so many of these games.
I'll
Well,
tell you
and
who
for
I
all
predict
of the
one of them.
go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm going to predict one of them. I'm going to
Okay.
predict Bob H is one of the ones they put there because
Think
he
it's Little
emerged
Rob
a
H?
little bit as a voice, but not too much. Didn't make too many people mad, but has emerged as a
Right.
voice. I
Okay.
think they'll pick him.
See, I
What
think they should
about
put all the remaining housewives because it would make them go nuclear. They would lose their crap. It
Battle
would be good
Royale.
TV.
that? Yes, there is a point to that. I kind of don't know what Bob is hard to read on. He's intelligent. He's a good leader. We covered all of that. He's got the great one-liners. But his choices are just, I don't know what rhyme or reason he's using and why he's picking the people
That's
he is.
exactly what he's doing. Is no rhyme or reason. That's his strategy. Is it? If it doesn't make sense, no one can figure it out.
Yeah, but also I still feel like you could do that with a plan. Like, I think there's a way to strategically make it look chaotic. I just think the reason I'm saying is because he's saying, hey, let's do this. And then all the other three are like, why?
Well,
Like,
Okay.
no.
Okay. What about
honestly,
this? What about this? This is my proposal. Tell me what you all think. This is what I would do. I would pick Bob H. I would pick Ivar or Egar or whatever the royal. And
Ivar.
yes, and I would pick one of the housewives and I would make sure she survived it to put the blame on her. Because they are already suspecting of the four housewives. One of them had to be it.
Well, they could definitely put Robin in that position and people would easily come to that conclusion.
But the other two have people suspecting them, but not a majority at this point. That's what
the
I would do.
suspicion's only because they're part of the group, right? Okay.
well,
Now, when I was watching today, I had an idea who I thought those three should be, but now Brian has totally torpedoed my ideas.
That's what those
Because there he
professionals
goes, making
do.
sense again.
Those professionals.
Your idea will probably be right because the people on Traitors, as we've seen, had 4 chances to get through 4 doors, and it took 5 tries.
Okay,
They did terrible.
why didn't they just stand
why
out
did they
there?
say the one on the left?
Why
Why
don't they
not
just say
number 'em?
whatever's? Huh?
Why
Yeah,
not number them? Why not say I'm going to say the
What?
the
Left
door
to
to the
right.
far
Like
left
read,
is
like
1,
you're
2,
reading
3,
1,
4.
2, 3. Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. We're gonna go to the one that's gonna be farthest left. Okay, and then so on and so forth.
So I think what we're seeing here
Idiots.
is it's not just the Traitors that are having a terrible time communicating with each other, like communicating. It's this entire cast.
No, it
Just
is.
does not play well with others.
It
But
is.
they were describing it in stupid ways. They were like, this one has purple diamonds. So
This
does
one
that
doesn't have blue.
You
Yeah.
know what I
This one
mean?
has yellow hearts and purple rainbows, and it's a bowl of Lucky Charms.
You're right.
Like, come on,
It's a little much.
no,
It's a little weird.
count.
And it was such a fun set too, to be just such a disappointing situation.
And the clowns were horribly freaky.
They were really
Horrible.
freaky. And Fergus sitting in there was like, it was great.
They
Like
just should have given
Fergus was
Fergus
all
an
of us in
axe or something.
2025. That's the face of the season.
Fergus is my spirit animal. That version
And
of
he is
Fergus
not.
is my
He
spirit
is not
animal.
amused. He was like,
Here
you
I
know,
am.
whatever.
Here I am.
Something I wanted to raise, we didn't talk about at all. At the very beginning, when they brought Rob out, the contestants had an
Oh, yeah.
opportunity to walk out and shake Alan's hand and send somebody home. And I don't understand. I would run out and do that. And just even if I pick just randomly somebody I didn't know, me, dude, you're out.
Yeah.
The number one
Why?
at the
Why
very
did
end,
nobody
but
do that? Did they
Because
think it would
it's
put
Rob.
a target on him?
Because it's Rob.
they
You
were
don't
all
want
afraid
Rob
to have
in
him
the
in
game.
the game. But if
Right,
they
but if you're
really
the
thought
person
for
who
a
put
second,
Rob in the game,
but
I
if
feel
they really
like
thought for a second, did they really think that production was going to fly him all the way over there for that moment for them to kick him out and go, okay, well, we're sending him home?
yeah, I was
Dude, he's sticking around. They're sending him in at some other point. Come on.
yes.
I
And
was
also
texting a
I
friend
have
and
to
she's
say
like,
if
I
it
wanted
was
Rob to be in. I'm like, watch, he'll be there by
Yeah,
the end
just
of the
why.
oh,
That's
he
not it,
definitely
honey.
will.
That's,
Yeah, his paychecks are way too big to be sent home on this. I think that if I were in the situation, if it had been Tony instead of Rob and Rob was already in the game 100%, I wouldn't even thought twice. I would have gone over, shook his hand, get Rob out. But it being
Mhm.
Rob is that because Rob has killed it at Amazing Race and Survivor and I don't know, like 100 other damn
And
reality
he's in his
shows.
50s now, right?
He's
Oh,
been
yeah.
around long enough at least that anybody who is in that group knows. I mean, how many times do we see like the housewives going, "Who's that? Now who's that? I don't know anything about them. I've never
Yeah, they
watched
don't.
Big Brother. I don't watch Survivor." They
No,
all
we don't
knew
know
who
them
Rob
either.
was. So, you don't put that person in the game, especially Rob, because he kills his most loyal. Like, you
As
just don't
someone
He
do
who
it.
doesn't, though. He does when he
He
needs to,
picks
but he
one.
doesn't.
He
Oh,
picks one
see,
loyal.
Christy, you're already buying into his BS.
Already.
You're already buying
Already.
into it. And as somebody, as I said, who actually didn't know him at all, I would have been, and I was a little disturbed by the reaction he got, like from everybody knew who he was. Like
Okay,
if I'm sitting
but
there and
here's
I
another
see
thing.
somebody who everybody knows who they are and is like, oh,
Mhm.
that's a goat, that's this guy. I mean, when they're running and the way they're all kissing his butt, in the cage.
And they always do that, Brian. They always do that. And
They
this
always
is how
do
it
that.
goes. Everyone kisses his butt, and then he watches them like a hawk and never lets them leave to go talk to their people.
Well, I'm too old
Oh,
and fat
that's
to play
right.
Survivor, but I'd like to have a battle of Kentucky Brian and Boston Rob, okay? Because
Yes.
I would not
And you
kiss
know what?
his
You'd
butt.
probably like him, though. You would probably actually like him if Brian could see that scene before Tribal where he was on the beach and kept everybody from going and strategizing, and he just sat and when it was masterful. He is. Wow, no one would ever think do that exactly, but Boston Rob did.
But the only
But
person that Rob has ever really been loyal to was Amba. Just
his
Amba.
wife.
So, Christy, are you going
He had
steady with
ulterior
Wes
motives
or
there.
Rob? Okay, make up your mind. Are you going steady with Wes or going steady with Rob? Because
I have
I'm
to
going
pick the
steady
beard.
with Jeremy. I'm
Well,
sorry.
I have to pick the beard.
Okay.
That's
And Rob, like
outfit.
Elvis, is in the second stage of his career. He's now no longer skinny Rob.
Now he's
in
fat
the
Rob.
red hat, he's
He's
fat
fine.
Rob.
He's Dad
fine.
Bod Rob. It's fine.
Yeah,
My
there's no doubt.
coworker,
He's wearing those
Austin
big,
Rob is
big
gone.
shirts.
Dad Bod Rob is in.
my coworker and BFF who at work today was, I showed her Rob because I was trying to get her to watch something. She doesn't watch any reality. Brian, she's right there with you. She watches, and then she doesn't even watch Traitors. And so I said, "Oh, look at this!" And I tried to show her a picture of Alan Cummings. I'm like, "Oh, he's very fun. You'd really like it." And there was a picture of Rob, and she's like, "Ooh, who's that? He's cute." And I went, "See, he didn't even talk."
The reaction of half the women on the planet, at least.
I don't
maybe
He's got
more.
those
I don't.
puppy dog eyes. It's just they're
It's the
weirdly
twinkle.
convincing.
It's the twinkle.
It is. He's got the Dumbledore twinkle. He's a wizard.
Oh,
Christy.
you're
He's a
like, he's
wizard.
bewitching me, and I know it's happening.
Okay, all of the Rob lunacy aside, if anybody has anything that they want to comment on, complain about, agree with, we have a way you can do that. We've got feedback.
Yeah.
Listen, guys, we got a new email address. You want to know why?
We're
Because
like,
we
we're doing
know
it.
You
you
figured
want
the other one
to
was
send
broke,
them.
right? Because we never got an email.
And we knew you wanted to send them, but it was kind of hard to remember, right? But not this one. Tally the feedback. yahoo.com. Why Yahoo? Because David is 800 years old. But that's
because
fine.
Yahoo.
Because
I didn't want it
because
linking-
AOL was
linking
taken,
with my
right?
Google accounts.
AOL was
AOL was
taken, so we
taken.
with Yahoo.
But now you're going to remember this. Please send us your feedback. Like I said, complaints, comments, whatever. We don't care. Give us something to read and goof off of. And if you don't want to send an email and you'd rather just comment live, you can like and subscribe, and then you won't miss us. Anytime we go to record, you'll get a little ding ding, and then you'll turn on your phone or your computer. And there we're going to be.
We'll be right here.
And you can also come over to our Facebook group, which is, no surprise, Tally the Votes. Join the Facebook group. We share whatever we can, and we love when other people share stuff too. So, is there anything else before we close this out that anybody wanted to mention?
We have to honor the Tally the Votes tradition, and everyone has to provide a winner pick.
Right on.
And I think because Brian, it's his first season with us, and he's our guest host, he gets first pick. And new rule for this year: you may not pick the same person.
Oh,
so
everyone has to.
And because I made the asinine rule without telling you, I will go last.
Thanks, because that was an asinine rule, but go for it.
I'm sticking with my gut and my heart, and I'm picking Jeremy.
I knew you would. I knew it.
I'm gonna write these down.
All right.
Brian wants Jeremy.
Okay.
Boy, do I.
I'm glad you picked him, Brian, because if I would have picked him, they'd have been giving me a hard time for having a type.
Well, guys, crap. I don't know. If I can't pick Jeremy, then I'm going to go for Carolyn.
Oh, all right.
Christy's like, scratch number 2.
Maybe once, Carolyn. Oh, and I'm going next?
You bet.
Oops. Sorry, I got to
get that in there before David has to make a vote.
I think, okay, so based on last year, not to be, based on last year, what's his name? Bananas got pretty far. I don't really want to pick Wes again.
Johnny Bananas got voted out like right off the bat.
No, he didn't. No, not Bananas. Who's the other one? The other one.
Oh, you're talking about the guy with the dark hair. I can't think of his name.
The Big Brother guy, Dan.
No, he was not a Big Brother guy. He was a challenge person. Because him and Bananas didn't like each other. Anyway,
I can't remember his name, but
he got to like Final Four, right? Didn't he get like down? Anyway, because they're usually pretty good at challenges, and they kind of like play really mid.
Are you talking about CT?
Christy, go for
CT.
Wes.
Thank you. Huh?
You go for Wes.
All right, I'll pick Wes. Just to be different.
I think that's a good choice.
If you can't pick the person that you think is most likely to win, you got to pick the person that you're rooting for.
Think I'm not really rooting for him. I think he actually would have a good chance because he's not.
Yes, I do too.
He's not in Big Brother. He's not in Survivor, and those tend to usually be the two big, like against, to kind of together, but kind of like they have to kind of start taking each other out.
Agreed.
He's kind of right in the middle pocket. He's kind of, I think he seems like they'll believe
challenges
him.
And he is astute.
And they won't. I don't think they think he's a traitor. I think he'll come across as like non-traitory. So I think he could go far. So I'm gonna go Wes. All right, David, that gave you a long time to figure it out.
All right, and in the least surprising pick in history,
Jeremy.
I can't pick Jeremy.
You also cannot pick Tony. He got voted out.
Right.
Okay.
So I'm picking Derek.
Okay, that's not a terrible guess. I just meh, but yeah, it's not a bad guess. Not a bad one.
He was his year of winning Big Brother. I was okay with him winning, but I was like, it was kind of boring. He was always kind of a little meh.
Yeah,
seems like a nice guy, but whatever.
Or
maybe not.
It's fine. Okay, guys.
So, anybody out there, if you have a pick, put it on the Facebook page and
get onto the Facebook.
We could start a poll.
Listen, you know how Facebook works. It's not the 90s. Even if David believes it is.
Well, and the greatest part is you can write whatever you want on Facebook now. There will be no fact checking.
Yeah, that's the greatest.
Now you can just
the greatest part.
Come on over. Say whatever you want.
We have this kind of freedom before.
Yeah, let's just live life free as a bird. Say whatever comes to mind.
I mean, what's the worst that can happen, actually?
What could
You know.
go wrong? Nothing.
Hey, at least we have David on something that actually does say tally the votes. That's a positive. So there we go.
Yeah. Yes. We got it. All right, friends. It was very lovely to have spent the time with you.
Hey, Jamie, when do we want to do this again?
I'm thinking we're going to be here next Friday to cover the next 3 episodes of Mystery and Mayhem and Murder. Same time. I think this time works great. Don't be afraid to send us an email and drop a line. Keep it going.
And then, Jamie, what are we doing after this? AU Survivor, right?
AU Survivor is going to be next.
It's coming.
Next up on deck. And then at some point thereafter, Australia versus the world. So we hear.
And then Big Brother. And then, guys, it doesn't stop here.
Yeah, it's going to be a long year because we've picked up these extra shows, but that's cool.
It's fine. Like we got something else to do.
We really have to, considering that you picked up the tab on another year of recording.
If you totaled all of our podcasts on the Traitors for the entire season, you would have a seriously long podcast, if you get my point.
You bet.
Absolutely. Well,
right,
guys, tell your friends,
also
tell
head
your
on over
neighbors,
to Instagram. That's another place you can find us. We did just start the Instagram like this week, so it's brand new. Get over there, but give us a chance to get it up and going. And yeah, and then otherwise subscribe to Crazy Hank TV, and I guess we'll be here next Friday, same time. So I don't know. Each of you want to say goodbye, Christy, Brian? Any last words?
Ladies and gentlemen, until the next mud. We'll see you next week.
All right, that's it.
I don't know if I can top that. We'll leave it
He's
there.
better at that than I am. Gosh, I practiced even. Stop the show. Turn it off. Let's go home.
Get out of here.
Get out of here.
Welcome to